Nerf guns, joysticks, insulin pumps, rod grooving, and even winglets are inventions that popped out from the ever-working brains of NASA. This list contains everyday gadgets we use today that were initially engineered by NASA either for the same or different purpose. Consider this episode as an addition to our last video on NASA-derived gadgets. If you want to check it out, you can find it here in the top right corner of your screen, or in the video description. But first, let's count down our picks. Number 10. Invisible braces. Invisible braces were jointly developed by Ceradine and NASA's Advanced Ceramics Research Program. Although today the braces have a relatively benign application, they were initially intended for use in military technology. With NASA, Ceradine was trying to find a material that could be used in infrared radomes to track heat-seeking missiles. Radomes or radar domes are structures that protect radar equipment. These need to be as transparent as possible to allow radar waves to easily pass through. They found that a transparent form of polycrystalline alumina might just do the trick. Then in 1986, Ceradine was contacted by the Unitech Corporation, also known as the 3M, for suggestions of materials that were both transparent and strong enough to be used in dental applications. Ceradine suggested TPA, and the two companies began a collaboration that led to the development of invisible braces. Ceradine are now a wholly owned subsidiary to the tech giant 3M. Number 9. SPEEDO LZR Racer Swimsuits. SPEEDO's infamous LZR swimsuit was unveiled in 2008. It was so effective that in 2009 it was banned by FINA from international competitive swimming contests as a form of technological doping. Side note, another example of technological doping was spotted in 2016 when Belgian cyclist Femke van der Truije was discovered to have a hidden motor in her bicycle. She was stripped of all her awards. Although unrelated with NASA-derived gadgets, this is the end of the side note. The LZR Racer was designed with the aid of NASA to be ultra-streamlined and low friction. It is made from welded seams and multiple woven fabrics that can reduce drag as much as 6%. The suit also has a core stabilizer, which acts as a girdle to help reduce the swimmer's muscle movement. The feature is intended to help the swimmer maintain the proper angle in the water for extended periods of time. Research into the effectiveness of the suit also found that air bubbles could be trapped between the swimmer's body and the suit. These help lift the swimmer slightly so that they can benefit from the lower friction against air compared to water. The suit's ban came after world records were broken by athletes wearing it in March 2008. Number 8. Scratch-resistant lenses. That kind of lens was jointly developed by NASA's AMES Research Center and the Foster Grant Corporation. Prior to their development, lenses were primarily made out of glass. In 1972, the FDA passed a regulation requiring sunglasses and prescription lenses to be shatter-resistant. This led manufacturers to turn to plastic lenses instead of glass. Although the plastic lenses were shatter-resistant, they were also prone to scratching, and so a solution was needed. This was found when NASA developed a series of scratch-resistant surfaces for use on astronauts' helmets and other plastic aerospace equipment. In 1983, Foster Grant was awarded a license from NASA to further develop and produce scratch-resistant plastics. They combined their own research with NASA's and brought the technology to the market. Today, most sunglasses, prescription lenses, and safety lenses as well are made from scratch-resistant plastics. Number 7. Smart homes. EWM was initially created to allow astronauts to operate and monitor experiments on the ISS remotely over the internet. NASA later released the technology into the public domain again, paving the way for the recent explosion of the Internet of Things technology. One interesting example comes from TMIO LLC. They developed EWB technology to create their Connect.io smart oven. This oven combines heating and cooling capabilities to both store and cook food on demand remotely. Many other companies are using the same technology to deliver a wide swath of over-the-internet control and management of devices. Devices like smart thermostats, smart light bulbs, smart locks, and basically what you can call a smart home have all benefited from NASA's space-age EWB technology. Number 6. The computer mouse. The humble computer mouse is yet another product of the space age. Although you probably never give it a second thought today, these were revolutionary just a few decades ago. The device started out as one small and relatively simple component of a broader goal, according to Bob Taylor, who provided NASA funding for research that led to the device in the early 1960s. Taylor and Doug Engelbart, who worked on mouse tech at Stanford Research Institute, wanted to find a way to make computers more interactive and intuitive to use. Number 5. Wireless headsets. Another NASA spin-off is the wireless headset. They were initially developed for astronauts during the Apollo program in the 1960s, but they were first commercialized a decade later. During the 1970s, the technology was refined and minimized for airline pilots and has since become ubiquitous for use in business. Perhaps the most famous use of the original headphones was when Neil Armstrong delivered his immortal quote during the first manned mission to the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So the next time you use a wireless headphone, remember that you are wearing a piece of history. Number 4. Air purifiers. The humble air purifier was first developed by NASA in order to help the astronauts grow plants in space and potentially on other planets. Back in the 1990s, NASA was looking for a way to remove ethylene from the air in order to prevent plants from aging and fruit from ripening too soon. This led to the development of an ethylene scrubber that uses titanium oxide and UV light to chemically convert the ethylene into trace amounts of water and carbon dioxide. The first working model was launched in the Space Shuttle Columbia and installed on board the ISS in 1995. Since then, the technology was then adapted for commercial and domestic air purifiers that you're probably familiar with. Number 3. Laser eye surgery. Yet another space-age spin-off technology was laser eye surgery. LASIK, which is the most widely performed laser vision corrective surgery, helps reshape a patient's cornea using an eczema laser. Even though this technology doesn't derive from NASA, there is another side feature called the laser radar, which derives from NASA. Most LASIK systems make use of laser radar eye tracking to achieve the necessary precision. As the human eye naturally makes hundreds of tiny involuntary movements every minute, this kind of capability is essential to ensure the surgery is successful. But why NASA bothered inventing an eye surgery tech? Well, they didn't. The later technology was developed under the Association's Small Business Innovation Research Program for use in the autonomous rendezvous and docking of space vehicles. Then the health sector took advantage of the same technology. And there you have it. Number 2. CAT scans. Another product of the Apollo program, CAT scans are today a vital medical diagnostic tool. First developed to identify imperfections in aerospace structures and components, the technology was publicly released in 1993, the year I was born. Designed to be added to an existing real-time radiography system, its components include a high-precision rotation and elevation manipulator, color image monitor, graphical user interface monitor, and PC-compatible workstation. Cross-sectional CT images are more detailed than radiographic images, and the high-speed scanning feature offers the capability of 100% inspection in a production environment. Number 1. Water filtration. Water filtration systems are another technology firstly developed by NASA's Apollo program, which have been commercialized to great success. In the 1960s, NASA's Manned Space Center and the Guard Corporation Air Research Division conducted a research program to develop a small, lightweight water purifier for the Apollo spacecraft that would require minimal power and would not need to be monitored around the clock by astronauts in orbit. Weighing only 1/4 of a kilogram, slightly larger than a cigarette pack and completely chlorine-free, dispensed silver ions to the spacecraft's water supply to successfully kill off bacteria. A NASA technical brief, released around the time of the research, reported that the silver ions did not impart an unpleasant taste to the water. The importance of this is that with this technology, more and more people have access to safe drinking water, saving millions of lives. If you reached this part of the video, this means you liked it. So press that like button and subscribe to my channel for more weekly general knowledge, historical matters and technology videos. See you there!